Merry Christmas, Hugh.
Merry Christmas, Dan, and all our listeners.
Oh, wow. It's Christmas time. Yay.
Ooh. Okay, it's not really. It's November.
It's still just November.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So, we're ready. I'm feeling Christmassy.
I feel Christmassy. I nearly wore my Christmas jumper today.
I feel Christmassy because you got me a pret-a-manger.
I bought you a Christmas lunch.
Yeah, and I'd bought one already. So sorry about that, but Kelly's going to get it. So.
Yeah, Kelly will enjoy that Christmas lunch.
So it's Christmas one, but it's actually the best of 2022.
Yeah, we do this every year, don't we? Basically, just get shit-faced and talk about the work.
Yeah, that's like your day job, isn't it?
Isn't that what we did in Cannes as well?
Can we also welcome back John?
John, yeah, he's been on sabbatical.
Hey, John.
Where have you been, John? Oh, he's silent. Can't say anything.
Hasn't got a mic.
He's got a mouth full of sandwich.
John is here looking really resplendent. He's got a full head to toe Father Christmas outfit, red sort of was it a jumpsuit? I described that as, and a full beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very festive.
Dan, you should have put some clothes on. It's a bit weird, but...
we have this joke all the time. This is the naked podcast. This is the way to go.
Right. So, shall I do a bit of an intro?
So what did we have last year?
Okay, so I know what you're going to do because it was your joke. So last year, I listened to it just now. You sound,
older.
Both sounded all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not drunk.
No, you had 21 in 21, which was good. But we can't do that now. Well, we could, but then it's just like every year.
There was some not good work.
that was 6-bit shit. So we'd end up with 22 and 22, and we're not about quantity. We're about quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be a bad trend. So this year we've got 15. It's a very good mix. I just wrote this earlier. Digital posters, traditional posters, fly posters, posters made from fruit juice, posters towed by a horse and cart, or horse-drawn carriage, rather. Posters with some very cute cats and dogs, and then there's posters with yogurt.
Yogurt. Is that the thing? Yogurt to our American friends?
Shall we just get it right now? I'm yogurt.
Yogurt.
So listen.
Yogurt and data, not data and yogurt.
Apologies to any clients, creatives, agencies who we've run down yogurt over the years. Today is the day when yogurt fights back. That's a story in itself. So I think what I want to do, Dan, is we're going to go 15 down to 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've actually got some questions for you for the first campaign. So should we just jump in?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that.
So the first one is actually, I wouldn't say a campaign from an agency at all. It was basically...
would you call it a reaction rather than a campaign?
So it's our great queen who passed away sadly this year, and there was an incredible reaction, obviously, from all over the country. But obviously being involved in this show, I was particularly blown away by how every billboard in the country was sort of passed over to her memory and her legacy. You said there's a way of doing this. Is that right?
So as the transformation happened from paper to pixel in our media space around the world, actually, this is not just exclusive to the UK. The systems that are in place for the digital billboards have an emergency messaging system as well. So if there is the need to mass evacuate Piccadilly Circus, the emergency system can kick in and tell people to get out of the area. But one of the use cases that it was always talked about is, in conversation, is if something happened to the Queen,
right?
Then they'd be able to replace advertising with a, in loving memory message and to inform people as well as celebrate her life. And so what you're witnessing when you see, because you can see there's no real consistency across the creative message on this stuff because it's all different media owners. It would have been house creative in the main part.
Okay, so from the
media owners themselves, so, creative or marketing departments.
I think they did not a bad job.
They didn't do a bad job.
Yeah.
And they were able to very, very quickly switch out paid advertising for yogurt to images of the Queen. So you see all of those media owners have exactly have very, very similar systems, so they can push the button when instructed. That doesn't mean that it wasn't a hard time for our industry, because there were lots of paid clients for that.
So what happened
2-week period?
To my 2 weeks of yogurt on Piccadilly Circus, and then suddenly Her Majesty the Queen, Elizabeth II, 1926 to 2022 appears. Where's my? Do I get
you're
back?
There was definitely some frantic phone calls in the different media agencies and specialists and creative agencies as people look to react to the news.
Right.
Most clients are obviously very, very understanding about what's going on. It happened across industry as well, remember, because all of the TV switched off and, ITV and Channel 4 both dropped their advertising and Sky similarly on certain channels.
But if you...
They basically frantic calls, you get your campaign gets credited and you get moved off for another 2 weeks.
Right.
Or I think most people were also offered their money back for the campaign that was not
Could
running.
you have voluntarily just said, it's fine, it's the Queen, we'll take a hit? Or
I'm sure they would have, but I'm sure most people wanted their millions of pounds of outdoor money
I think
used at a later date when it's more appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've put it in there because it's a never before moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you. You've been doing it a long time. I've never seen anything like it. So this was less a creative, isn't it great? But it's so like, fucking hell.
Yeah, behind the scenes, this stuff can happen. And I think, we haven't had one of those major milestone moments that's affected everything in your life. I think certainly the one that my kids will always remember is the radio changed. The DJs were playing somber music and there was no open chat and stuff. And so on our normal commute to school, they're saying, "Oh, why is the music so?"
Yeah. The one I found most disturbing was I was watching a United game in Europe, I think, Europa League, of course, and they took the ads off, which I kind of was like, okay, but then they played this slightly disturbing music. It wasn't like somber, like a bit of reflective piano. It was felt like some sort of kind of slowed down rave music, just with a black screen. And I was saying to Rach, this definitely feels someone's got the wrong tune here. But I think overall, it was a pretty good. I mean, it was a pretty amazing thing. The only thing I was thinking when you said that was during COVID and the pandemic, there wasn't one of these, was there? There was the NHS, SHN, which suddenly appeared everywhere.
There was, but what was out there during COVID was advertising from the government. So actually, during COVID, one of the only advertisers still running all the way through that period and using outdoor tactically and relevantly was the government account who was saying stay home, and so there was lots of updates. There was dynamic campaigns telling people where test centres were and all sorts of stuff like that. And,
but then listening to that, I remember thinking it was pretty disparate.
Yeah,
actually, this
was everywhere.
Yeah,
but you can see as you look through some of the creative, it's all different, and it's all.
But if you go right, okay, if I was saying what were the guidelines for this, I think everyone's the headline is white out of black. It's Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II, and the date, and then some is upper and lower, some is full colour image, and very nice one here with her. We're going to come back to this again for the Times in a minute, but it's her younger self and her older self profile shots looking at each other, which I think is wonderful. Just so kind of calm. And then there's ones where she's just literally facing the camera. My favourite probably is the first one when we put it up, and it's going to be, she's got a look of total glee on her face, and I think it's at the races. And I think her horse has won, and she looks so... don't worry, there will be other ads. I'm not going to go on about the Queen for an hour and a half. But I love this image of her because she looks like she's broken out of her... her sort of...
I think we're right to cover it in the top 15 because it was a seminal moment in the year, and it's great to see our industry respond in the right way. But
very much.
From a creative perspective, that's probably about as far as we're going to go.
Yeah. Well, I think would it be a nice link then to go into...
The Times one, I think, stands out across everything because there's a lovely craft to it, and I think that is I think that's probably one that stands out away from the others, which were effectively just in the period between her passing away and her funeral when all of the screens switched over. Yeah,
well, this one was really earlier in the year, wasn't it? It was the Platinum Jubilee, and I remember Russell Ramsey from our first.
Yeah, you're right. That was the Jubilee, wasn't it?
Yeah, he said. So they've got the black and white Queen shaking hands with our full colour queen from earlier this year. And I think he said they went through literally hundreds of body shapes and body poses to get the exact hands right. And it just looks like just a sort of seamless, most natural thing of a younger woman shaking hands with her older self. It's really, really lovely. I think, like you said, it was probably, of all the kind of Platinum Jubilee ones, that was one of the best. And it certainly fits in with this little section at the beginning where we're talking about how we've treated the Queen with such sort of, reverence.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, but we're going to move on to 14, which is continuing the theme, which is Marmite.
Marmite.
And the truffle variation of Marmite, which I've not actually tasted myself. Anyone?
No.
But
this was for the Platinum Jubilee as well.
Wasn't it? Yeah. Sorry, yeah. So this is like February, March time, wasn't it? And I remember someone sending it to me, or have you seen this, blah, blah, blah. And I think I saw the 6-sheet first. I thought, oh, that's quite nice. It's a 6-sheet that says one either loves it or regurgitates in one's designer handbag, which is pretty funny. But then I don't know who sent me the other one, but it was properly done with a
horse-drawn carriage.
Horse-drawn.
Yeah, it's very, very smart.
Yeah, and on that one it says one either loves it or one finds it really rather beastly.
Especially as we've seen kind of a renaissance of the ad vans.
Yeah.
People using these digital screens that are on cars or whatever.
It's a good version of the ad van, isn't it?
So this, a
regal ad van.
A regal ad van, yeah.
But no, it's brilliant. I think Marmite, we had them last year with Explosive.
Oh yeah, the Dynamite campaign. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's probably, that's such a high standard. This probably isn't quite as good as that, but it's a what you call a special build stunt. It's just a great piece of out of home.
Look, nice bit of copy, and actually the stunt piece for this gets on people's news feeds, and we've talked about that all year. how outdoor is living on beyond billboards. So thinking outside the box and thinking outside is good.
Yeah, no, it's great. I wonder. I wonder if anyone's do you know anyone who's had a taste of the truffle?
No, I do like Marmite though. Do you like Marmite?
I love Marmite, and I do like truffles.
Marmite on toast?
Yeah.
Marmite on crumpets?
Marmite on crumpet with a piece of cheese.
Oh, same. Yeah. Cheddar?
Yeah. Although I can't do that now because my cholesterol levels have gone up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, won't be able to do that if anyone wants to.
Maybe some low fat?
Yeah, I've got
have you got
Flora Proactive.
Yeah.
And Benacol, those little drinks in the fridge.
Oh, what about cheese? Just no cheese.
Hard cheese.
Hard
cheese.
Hard cheese.
So welcome to the
Hughes
high cholesterol billboard
Hughes Health podcast.
Are we going to at what point are we going to do the crackers? And at what point are we going to do?
Should we get into the top 10? Because it feels like a reward. We get into the top 10. We open a beer, and you can pull my cracker.
Yeah.
You're such a child.
Such a baby.
We've gone from talking about your high cholesterol to you being
Okay, right. We're going to move on from Marmite. We're going to move on to Ace and Tate.
Ace and Tate. Oh, we saw this in the flesh.
We did.
Well, we saw the second part of the campaign in the flesh.
Or was it?
We saw the camp. We saw where they had their glasses on.
Yeah.
Not when they had their glasses off.
So this is a sunglasses brand. I don't know if people are aware of them.
A two-parter.
Yeah. A tease and a reveal. Is that how you call it?
I think that's what you would say, yeah.
So Ace and Tate, a very cool sunglasses brand, a campaign called Bring on the Sun. So again, for people who don't know, really brave this. So it's a bunch of people, cool, Shoreditch-y types on fly posters in Shoreditch, squinting and looking up and kind of, as if the sun is out. So it's a kind of before moment, isn't it? It's like, oh shit, I need to go and get my sunglasses.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, the reveal. When did we do that?
That came just as the weather changed as well. So it's a smart thing.
Yeah.
In terms of campaign timing from them.
But, because the reveal, we were presuming, weren't we, that it was the same models with these very cool Ace and Tate.
We talked about it with the high traffic behind us, so people probably couldn't hear it. It was just a noise of... John did the tech for that podcast as
John.
well.
Oh yeah, John. I remember John.
Yeah, John.
Hi, John.
John.
It's waving now.
He's waving.
Well, that was on our Copy Safari with Vicky Ross, which was ace, by the way. Thank you again, Vicky. That was one of the best moments on our pod. And when we tell people about it, it's such a cool idea. I told someone at Specsavers about it the other day, so expect a call, and that'll just be 10% for me, and the rest for you.
10% of the flapjacks that you made for the...
Yeah, which were a bit sweet.
Yeah, it's probably what's...
Yeah. Well,
cholesterol.
Yeah, that's probably what. Thanks, mate. Nice link. But no, Ace and Tate, very good. And I mean, God, I don't know if it did. I don't know how much publicity it got, but it was certainly.
Oh, we liked it. I mean, the thing is we would always talk about the best work, and it looked good on the street, and that's I'm not sure how many pairs of sunglasses it sold, but it looks nice, and it's beautifying our streets rather than polluting it, which is some of the other stuff we see at the end of your street.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking? So, what are your shades? What brand do you have?
I wear Shugs.
Shugs.
Yeah, sunglasses that hug.
Oh, right.
Do you not wear your Shugs?
Oh, Tiger. The Tiger goes.
Hi,
yeah,
Tiger.
Of course I wear them, Tiger. I wear those.
I wear Ray-Bans and I wear my Shugs. My Shugs have definitely been my sports sunglasses.
Okay. I definitely got you as a Ray-Bans guy.
Yeah, I wear Ray-Bans.
Yeah, and sports.
But not for sports, because my Ray-Bans fall off when I'm swinging my golf.
What about when you're paragliding?
Shugs.
Or like jumping out of planes and stuff?
Shugs.
Shugs, okay. Volcano leaping.
Shugs.
Right, so I don't
golf,
know this.
biking, skiing.
Right.
They will take their first ski trip in January.
So when I'm drinking in the sunshine,
you wear your Ray-Bans.
Oh no, I don't have Ray-Bans. I have Purcell. Purcell. Which I love, and that they fit me like a dream. And
so they're your show ones?
Yeah, and they cost me lots of money when I had lots of money.
Okay.
But now I'm broke. All donations welcome. I know I do have another pair, actually, which are quite, I think...
Hire me at hughpod.com. Is that what that?
I'm available. I'm not.
January you are.
Yeah, January. Cheers.
Only for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get back to this. I have another pair, yeah. So I suppose so what my point is, are Ace and Tate uber trendy and they're beyond us too, or beyond me, and not beyond you because you're a little bit trendy, or are they more like John's world?
I don't know. John?
Ace
just
and Tate,
from a nod or a shake, have you ever heard of Ace and Tate sunglasses?
No.
That's a shake. So it's probably for a younger generation.
Even younger than John?
Yeah, John's
Jesus.
like 49.
Yeah, fucking hell, poor bloke. Right, okay, so I think, well, if anyone knows, any of our listeners want to tell us about Ace and Tate, what sort of demographic they're aimed at.
Do you have a big issue with number 12?
I don't have any big issues with number 12. In fact, it feels like...
we agree.
It's
big issue sits at number 12.
It feels like geographically it's quite close to me. It's just around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from Forever Beta, which I sort of thought was ages ago because we chat, but I have done a...
We talked about this. We have talked about this.
Yeah, I did a very, very strict date thing, as you instructed me on, saying, this one's a bit out of date. And so there were quite a few, just want to say it actually here, if people are thinking, where is Channel 4, It's Rude Not to Stare, that was actually from 2020.
Yep.
And then there was things like KFC, The End Line. I think some stuff has either dropped through the cracks or we featured heavily on our can stuff.
Yeah.
There was Pepsi as well, goes with. So I think...
But we've been very strict. This is the best of 22.
Exactly. And I think we need to be, otherwise it'll just be like... I think what happened during the pandemic, things just got sort of so flabby.
Yeah, there was a blurring of the line between 20 and 21, wasn't there?
Yeah. So this is big issue. It's a brilliant use of... what do we call that, Dan? Geo-targeting. When it's something is very close to the poster.
Yeah.
Is that a right term?
Yeah, geotargeting.
I said it out loud.
You kind of went up at the end of targeting to make it sound like a
It's
question.
a bit like me and Dave Dye and all us others. Whenever we look at you and we feel that slight bit of insecurity about saying something digital.
Well, Dave would just say, don't you just go and make it jiggle around?
Jiggle around. We should have a jiggle around.
In the Dave Dye mumble.
In a jiggle around category. Is this a jiggle around?
No, this is definitely not in the.
How do they do this? Can you just tell me? How do we do? It's me, Lawrence. I'm here. It says.
Yeah. Alongside the plan, obviously these billboards don't move, so it's just a planning thing. Like if they know where their sellers are, the sellers are the big issue. Then they are said, well, if you're going to be there, then we're going to nominate this poster for you.
Yeah.
So if anyone hasn't seen it, it says I'm just around the corner, and it points. There's got the big issue salesperson pointing to where they're standing, and it just says the big issue. So it's
it's very cool, isn't it? I mean, I imagine you're going to tell me that's some of the most basic technology you could have in a poster.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a planning thing. I mean, they're not tracking. They haven't got a tracker on the person who's selling that. So the number that doesn't change is the 381 meters that way. It's a bit like how, I don't know if you remember, we talked to Anna about the IKEA ad when it told you how many steps it was to their most sustainable store. Someone has just gone and measured the location to where this guy's standing selling the big issue. And obviously during campaign period, they're asking him not to move from that street corner.
I know it's not in here, it's from a while back, but how did you do you remember Phil and Darren's burger where it was a think bubble grabbing?
Oh yeah, see one, want one.
How did that, can you tell me how that worked? This is fascinating, isn't it?
You wanted the tech talk.
I've paid me money.
So there are a number of ways to make that work. And you can use facial tracking to track people as they walk down the street, and you could then make the burger appear to be coming out of their heads as a think bubble. Right.
Is that what you did?
No.
Isn't it a Bluetooth thing?
Bluetooth thing?
Again, going up at the end, unsure.
Again asking the question.
Is it a Bluetooth thing?
It was really simple, that idea. Because
you don't actually know, do you?
We do. I do.
Okay,
we effectively just had a rendering of the space, and we just had a mouse tracker, and we just got people to track the person with the mouse from across the other side of the street. And there's always
the magic. I thought
there's a really simple way to do it, and there's a complex way to do it that would cost the client a crap load of money and is not necessary.
Okay.
So there's always a way.
Yeah,
that is the answer, and it's not always the most tech way to make something.
No, and
fantastic.
that's what I'm a massive fan of. Is a brilliant idea doesn't have to have really confusing tech.
No.
Sometimes you look at some outdoor stuff like the digital stuff and you go, fucking hell, that looks like a lot of work and many layers, and I've walked past already.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember there was another one very early days for Virgin Trains. I think it was by Elvis, the agency, where this bloke would type in onto the screen, "Hey, you bloke with the yellow hat, are you going to go to Leeds?" And they would literally, so that would be the same thing.
Yeah, that was the Virgin Trains in Liverpool, and they look, someone with a baby. I wonder if they're going to London.
Yeah, that's great.
We did one for a biscuit brand, brand, that was at a station saying, "Hey, you with the orange hat, you look hungry, try a breakfast biscuit." Stuff like that.
It's great.
Very simple, and it literally was someone typing in and sending to screen. So that's relatively straightforward, really.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for the tech
Thanks.
update.
Tech updates with Dan.
So going back,
and John, who actually does the work.
Yeah, Dan just sort of barks orders at people, I think. This is going actually completely. This is on number 11.
Oh, just outside the top 10.
Just at number 11. And this is going way back to conventional poster land. This is literally a visual and a headline and a logo. I mean, it literally is how posters used to be. And that's not to denigrate it at all. It's a very sweet campaign from
DVLA?
VMLYNR. I always want to say VLM, but I don't, because that would be crap, guys. So it's VLM. I haven't even had the drink yet. VML, YNR. It's DVLA. The line is hard to hide, easy to tax. So it's basically people doing pretty comedic things, trying to hide their car. And I think I've got to say it's really well done. It's very well art directed. There's 3 of them. It's a campaign because there's 3. One's covered in road cones. One's covered in foliage. And another one is covered in sort of a fence. And they've all been clamped because they haven't
paid their tax. Yeah.
But I just wanted to put it in because it was just very simple, very sweet. There's not enough of this stuff around, I don't think. In the old days, there'll be loads of this. I think it's been pushed to the edges a bit more. So, not in the top 10, but
it's nice.
Definitely worth a mention, yeah.
Yeah, as I said before, it's not polluting our streets.
No, not at all.
It looks really nice.
And to Mark
and Lauren?
Laurent and Mark over at VML Wine Art, they had some Reuters working last year, so that's 2 years running. So well done, guys, brilliant stuff. And thanks for sharing. And to everybody, please keep sending stuff in, either of your own or stuff you've seen you like. We've got our researchers out there, obviously, scouring the earth for good work.
That's me and you, right?
As I said, our researchers.
Our research team.
Yeah, but please send stuff in to us you think's any good or stuff you think we've missed, because it's very democratic here. You send the stuff in and we decide if we like it.
We text message between us. Do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? Do you like that?
Oh, sorry. There's one thing I didn't ask. Were Talon or Grand Viz involved in the Queen stuff?
No.
Okay.
No, that was definitely all media owners.
Right. Okay.
Talon were involved in moving the advertisers around as needed.
With the bad news.
There were a lot of people scrambling at that point.
Really. You're going to have to cover the next one as I.
No, we're going to have to.
We're having a
take
pause.
a brief pause while the crackers.
Crackers and the Guinness.
And the Guinness.
And then it's going to really jolly up, isn't it?
And then we'll rattle through the top 10 so we get down the pub.
Oh, God. I hate this. Right. I'm going to put it on my water bottle. Sorry. I can't drink this from the can. Can you drink in the can? I just have that panic. It's like an unexploded bomb. You quickly got to get it into a glass.
Guinness draft stout in a can.
Thanks for explaining what's going on.
Merry Christmas, Hugh. Thanks for the beer.
Yeah. Well, look, I got a 4-pack.
John's just covered the entire microphone.
Having told us to be really
tech
careful.
setup in beer.
Guys, be really careful. Right. Cheers. Happy Christmas, everybody. Happy Christmas.
Hold on, it's still going here. The widget's still working.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't talk about their widgets anymore, do they?
We love a widget, don't we? Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
And to all our listeners.
Cheers.
Happy Crimbo. Thanks for listening, staying with us. I know we were a bit delayed in coming back, but we are back in full effect. Oh, and what about a cracker? Hold on, sorry.
Hugh, you've really pushed the boat out with these crackers.
Do you want to describe them?
Yeah. They are...
We'll take a photo of it.
About 5.5 centimetres long.
It literally, I'll tell you what, it's a difficult year in a Todd household. There's not much money. So.
And on mine is a big reindeer mounting a little reindeer.
No, it's not.
It is.
So,
look.
Are you trying to make a sort of naughty joke out of that?
What have you got? Oh, you got 3 penguins. Mine is definitely a reindeer.
John, lean in. That's it. Happy Christmas. Right. Okay, quickly, we better pull the cracker.
Here you go, John.
This is going to be... I don't know, I'm coming over.
Do this. Oh, we're doing the whole cross thingy.
2, 1.
Oh, I won one.
Nothing, usual. Oh, hold on, cat. Right, I'll just do one joke. Which band sang... These really are the cheapest ones. We Are the Champions. The Who, Meatloaf, Queen, or Bon Jovi? Hold on, I've got 5. How many things have you...
Oh, these are like... Oh, no, you've bought the quiz crackers.
Why don't we have one in between rounds? In between, before we get to number 1 each time, we'll have a...
Was that a joke?
Yeah, do a joke in between each.
Did you do a joke or did you do one of the quiz things? The joke is the red one.
Who sang We Are the Champions?
No, that's a quiz. That's a trivia.
I know. Oh, we should have put our hats on right.
I'll give you that red. The red one's got the joke on.
Yeah, okay.
What did the left eye say to the right eye?
Aye.
Between you and me, something smells.
Oh. The nose. Yeah, I thought...
It's even funnier when you have to work it out live on air.
I thought it was... Yeah, anyway, no. Right.
Okay.
Right. Should we get back to why people are listening to this?
Straight in at number 10.
Go on, Dan. You go.
We have Leo Burnett with McDonald's and the McDelivery pins.
Yeah.
We like this, don't we? This is
We do like this.
illustrative. It used the pin, the location. I think obviously last year's McDelivery swept the board at all of the awards shows.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice piece of illustration. But this one I think is smart because it's using the thing that we all reference as this is where I am, the pin location.
Yeah, that was so.
It's got some cool graphics of the product as well.
Sesame seed. So one of the sesame seeds, a pip in
A pip and a gherkin,
a
squirt of ketchup,
and then something.
a splash of milkshake.
Yeah. I mean, my own thing is, and this is only because their standard of work is so high. Leo's and McDonald's is. You're right. The other stuff is better, and has had still being talked about. If you type it in, McDonald's McDelivery posters, that comes up straight
Just had
away.
my first sip. It's actually really nice.
That's very lovely. And I wondered whether these just went a bit too subtle, a bit too clever. Or is the previous?
Are you questioning whether it should be in the top 10 or not?
No, not at all.
Are you wishing to change the order now? We're on.
No, because it's got a nice link to number 9 as well.
Okay, so you're playing the story game rather than the.
A little bit. I think they're great. They look.
So this is sandwiched between.
Well, yeah, we've got another campaign below this at 9, which I think does a similar thing. It's really good, but it's not as good as previous. But that's very high praise.
Yeah.
Anyway, because it's in
It's in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice.
But so why don't we quickly get to the next one because people will know what we're on about. So the next campaign is at number 9. At number 9, being Hugh. So this is
They were in our 21 of 21 as well.
yeah, and they were in our 20. They've been
Perennial.
yeah. I mean, Uncommon, just the best.
I mean, we probably need to do another session with Nils since talking to him. They've come up year after year with consistently great outdoor work. There's definitely a belief at Uncommon in extraordinary
Pleased you
work
said
for out
that.
home.
So how does it work in the machination of our industry? So I'm a new client. I come to an agency. Who tells who at what point? Do you know
tells
what?
whom?
Who tells whom? Thank you, Daniel. Hey, you need to be an outdoor as opposed to TV, digi, social, yada, yada. I know people want to be everywhere, but Uncommon seems to be uncommonly doing well on outdoor, as many clients.
But are they also winning work because of the great outdoor work they've done, and then that's making more clients come to them? I don't know. It's like I guess it goes in cycles, doesn't it?
But it's great work. I think there are 3 shots of a phone, and from the phone are things which are redolent of the DIY world. So my absolute favourite, there's a shots done by James Day, by the way. Hello, James. James is a wonderful photographer and a lovely chap as well.
The paint one is just so good.
It's so good. It's like a kind
You can almost hear it dripping and
yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah, it's like an album cover.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. I remember seeing it and I think they've even, the shot I've got, I don't know whether they've managed to sort of leak it ever so subtly onto the, bleeding it onto the edges, because they've, at the bottom, if you look, it actually goes a bit across the border.
Yeah.
So again,
it spills out over the white border they've got on there, and there's a few little things in there as well, like the reflection of the B&Q logo in the glossy paint. So it's kind of.
I mean, it's really good. I still think it'll be very hard to beat their initial campaign, which was just staggering, and then last year's of the bulbs, and the colours was, but crikey, a high standard.
Change made easier was the line for this, was it?
Yes. It's actually, it doesn't
feature in the outdoor, but it did on everything else. So, which is actually, that's quite nice, because all we've got is, as the call to action, is DIY.com, which is the B&Q website.
Which makes sense because it's online. So all the stuff is online. So, as a brief, I imagine that's, God, it looks easy now. I bet it took ages to get to this, but it's a wonderful bit of work. I mean, it is virtually classic poster, isn't it? There's no, there's nothing in the way. There's no fat on that, mate. Right.
As a copywriter, you'd have been very happy with your contribution to this.
They're called creative people. Quite often writers do the visual gag.
Like, can I have the credit on this? No, sorry.
That's when Russell says...
What do you write? DIY.com.
Russell says you can't go on the shoot. I go, I came up with all the ideas, Russ. No, you're the writer. You can stay home. But he didn't step me home. He let me go all the way to Brazil and flew me all the way in when he realised I was there. Cheers, Russ. Thanks for that, mate. Nice. Right.
We should have talked about that.
Talking about flying.
Yes.
How about that? That's not a bad link. We're going to go to number 8 in our top 15 of the year. And this is a kind of...
Did you, at the time, when you sent this to me, you were like, oh, is it a reaction campaign?
I didn't know. Well, to be true, this isn't a whole episode about Russell Ramsey, but he did actually send it to us as well. And he said, have you seen this? And I went, is it like a protest or something? I couldn't work out who it's from. It is from Mother, isn't it? Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
I came by train.
Was it for Trainline or was it?
That's what we did. We weren't sure. We thought it was, but I don't think it is because I did a search.
Was it for the train operators or something?
I don't know. We should know. It's on our show, but if anybody knows, please tell us. But I think it's just a website that goes, icamebytrain.com.
Because polar bears.
Because polar bears. And it goes through a series of reasons. I came by train because bleaching is for Hollywood.
I mean, the trouble that I've had on the trains recently, I don't want to turn it into this and another middle-aged rant, but I feel like I should do a protest campaign to this campaign. I tried to come by train, but they weren't fucking running again.
Do you know what? That was fine. It's awful, isn't it? Because you go, I'm with it. I'm
massive, yeah.
But then you go, all right, you're on strike or you're late or you cost so much money.
It's so expensive.
If you want to go...
It really has turned into middle-aged rants, hasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I think
it's so expensive. It's always late.
If you want to go to, say you want to go to south of France.
Yeah.
On a train. I'm happy for it to take longer because I want to take in the scenery and like to walk up and down and have a piss and chat to people, not at the same time. And, get to know various people on a train, a bit like North by Northwest, that kind of thing. And then it costs you something astronomical. We tried doing it with a family and it was something like $1,000.
You know what I did?
Because if you went from a plane, it would be like half the cost.
I did a train across to, where was I? Somewhere in Germany. I can't even remember. And it was brilliant. And actually I got a good deal on Trainline. Yeah. And it was so not, you're right. It's something, the romance of a train journey is there.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, it just means, if it means not going into the airport.
Yeah. The airport it's getting, I mean.
It's a bit of a stress. Really,
I was going to go.
Especially during the COVID times. It was like, oh, Jesus.
I was going to go to Spain then. We looked at something else where you get down to the north of Spain and then go down to the bottom to like Cadiz or somewhere. And this train was like, we looked at it was like 28 quid to go all that way.
Yeah, it's so cheap in Europe.
But you've got to still get to the north of Spain. I don't know. I'm sort of in negotiations with Rach and the kids about what's happening next year. Because I secretly actually want to go to Japan.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently there's no trains to Japan. You have to...
You can't get a train to Japan?
Oh, no, you can't.
Really?
It's really weird.
Oh, gosh.
There's about 3 or 4 C's and you checkpoint Charlies. So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, this work is...
Is that just because you want to go on a bullet train? Or you just want to eat sushi?
The secret is Rach speaks fluent Japanese.
Right.
And I want to just walk around. And
you want to test her?
Yeah, I just wanted to do everything. Yeah. All right, go and get us a burger. Right, sort that hotel out, will you? Can you get me 2 more drinks? So she's promised it, but now I'm not sure now because mass extinction, literally.
Because mass extinction. Well, you don't want to fly that far. You think it's bad for the planet.
But the posters are good. I mean, it's such a sort of vexed topic, isn't it? Because Russell sent us these after we'd been waxing lyrical about Uncommon's BA work.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, these are weird. These are like a sort of an answer to them." And like if you talk about it at a higher level, like we've just been going, absolutely, I get the train. But the trouble,
everything is based on the fact that I think they put it on the poster, don't they? At the footnote, it's like 7% less polluting than planes.
7 times.
7% or 7 times?
Train travel is 7 times, which is incredible. But my problem is, a bit like you were saying, is you've got to make it easy for me then. Either on money, don't have strikes, don't be shit and late, don't be disgusting. You know, planes.
I think it's fine if the system was nationalised again and we had control over the prices and control over how.
Do you want to control our borders?
No, but I think we should be going back to a time where there shouldn't be.
Totally, I'm 1,000,000%.
There shouldn't be big business looking after our
Should we make this a political thing? Just don't do billboards. Yeah, it would just be like a bloke shouting.
Yeah. Nationalise everything.
Right, let's move on to number 7. And St. Luke's.
St. Luke's, yes.
Yeah, so they've done a lot of great work this year on Out of Home. A bit like Uncommon, but we've only actually picked one of St. Luke's campaigns. There were others. There was something for iNews, which was excellent. The Heathrow Airport stuff was great. But the one we've chosen is for Dole, and it's the fruit brand Dole. And it's nutritional facts.
Malnutrition facts.
What did I just say? Nutritional. It's malnutrition facts. And what it was brilliant. It was a brilliant use of outdoor, whereby there's more vitamin C in the poster than there is in a chicken McNugget. It just shows how ridiculous it is.
In fairness, it wasn't chicken McNugget. It was just a chicken nugget.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that's another beef. Yeah, so I always say McNugget. Sorry, chicken nugget. And it says basically the poster has more vitamin A and C. And they were brilliantly put together. They
were printed with the pigment from oranges and grapes.
Yes, exactly. And Richard very kindly sent us a film, and there's like stills of it. We put it all up before, but it's like.
And the printing process. Yeah, he sent us all that, didn't he?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think, St. Luke's at the top of their game at the moment, and this is a brilliant example of it. And it's sort of interesting because I don't know anything about Dole. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, they're a very big company.
But do you know anything about their advertising, or how do they talk to you? I've never seen a campaign go, oh, yeah, that's...
I don't think I've seen much from them before, but...
Because the line is favour more fruit, #change the facts, which is kind of commendable. But I mean,
they are very, very, very big business.
Right, okay, in fruit. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a really brave campaign. I think it's beautifully put together. It's a great use of outdoors, and it's a story brilliantly told. So I think it's legit. I think it might have been higher up, but the stuff at the top is really good. I think, at one point this year, I was thinking, that'll be in our top 3 or something. But then you look at the other stuff which is coming, you go, no, this it really has been some very.
And going back to what you were saying about like those agencies who are kind of just knocking it out of the park on outdoor. Like we've talked about Uncommon briefly already, but St. Luke's are up there. They're definitely giving them a run for their money of like we create great outdoor as well. Yeah. So it's good to...
It's interesting, isn't it, like you say that? Because if you go... I suppose film's the same, isn't it? But it's such an easy thing to showcase on your Twitter channel or your Insta. It's much harder to sort of showcase... it's such an instant media, isn't it? Like posters and film, you kind of go, you can watch and go, those guys know what they're doing. I suppose on other more, I want to say intricate media, but more involved, it's harder to quickly go. So I suppose if you're a potential client and you go, we're about to talk about Uncommon, actually, the pets work. It's just so brilliant. It's so quick. It's so easy. It's so charming. That as opposed to a quite a neat print campaign, or a radio campaign. It's harder to show your wares, I suppose, isn't it? But when you have great outdoor, like you say, does it perpetuate just getting more and more? Certainly those 2 agencies are right in the zone, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you sent me this, mate, didn't you?
I did.
Talk us through it. What is it?
I saw this on my feed. I didn't actually see it in person. No. But Many Pets, which is insurance for pets.
Yeah.
Insure your pet's happiness. So it's not number 6. It's coming in from Uncommon, and actually it was on Nils's LinkedIn feed or something that I saw it.
Yeah.
I think it's so. When you think about all the reasons for having a pet, and you've got a house full of animals, haven't you?
Yes. Yes.
I've got animals of a different kind in my house.
Yeah.
They are your companion. They're your best friend. They are the furball. They are your endorphins. They're your anti-stress ball. They can change your mood very, very quickly. And I think they're brilliantly photographed as well. The dog one in particular, the wet nose, legal high is the line on that one.
It's amazing, isn't it? I tried before we came over, and this is a note to anyone. I tried finding the photographer, but there's no photographer credited anywhere, both on Uncommon's Twitter feed and stuff. So if anyone knows it, but I've got a feeling, I'm wondering whether they are stock. But wherever they are, wherever they were from, they're brilliantly treated because they're full bleed shots. They go right in on, the cat licking its nose or looking a little bit intense. I mean, my favourite one is, they're all good, but there's the personal trainer with the dog's mouth open and it's panting and it just looks incredibly keen. And that's sort of, that's kind of what I'm looking at most days. My dog is a cockapoo, and without getting too deep, it hears a lot of shit I talk about. So most mornings I come down and she gets a false idea that we're going to go out and we don't. And I'm going, mate, sit down, get in your basket. And the girls say I'm being really mean. I'm going, no, dogs need to be told. And it sits there. And then I write, fucking hell, this book. Will this book ever be finished? I'm nearly done. So I write for an hour and the dog just looks at me and it's really lovely. It's like my companion. And then I go, right, let's go and get a cup of tea.
And then every time you flinch to make a move towards the door, the dog goes, oh, it's time?
Exactly. Yeah. No, not now.
It's putting the kettle on.
Yeah. And then, joking aside, she is always there. But then during the pandemic for the girls and the dog was really, it was a big thing. But this is
just a smart, the positioning of your pet being your mental health first aider in your house is smart.
It's brilliant. It's
really nicely executed. Very, very simple lines.
Yeah.
It's kind of classically Uncommon as well. So.
Yeah, but it's also, I don't know who the planner on it was, but the planning job on this. I mean, I know you've just said that very easily, and we go, yay, but you go, I think the brief would have been something like pet as anti-anxiety companion. The line is, the line's a bit buried actually. I don't even know if the line's there, but it's ensure your happiness, which is a fantastic thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
If your happiness is intrinsically linked to your furry friends,
then make sure your furry friend is insured. Yeah.
And then, so that's one brilliant thing. You're going as a creative, that's a brilliant strategy and relatively obvious, as you just said.
Yeah.
Then you go, okay, how are you going to treat it? So they go, right, tight photography, like right in on the nose. Like there's nothing else. There's a nose and a tongue. And then you go, right, this is how it makes me feel. It's really intense, this dog or cat. And then just the lines, just the word endorphin. I mean, fucking hell. How good is that? We know exactly what it means.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done. The whole of Uncommon again on that. Just brilliant. Brilliant. Oh my God, I've just seen what's next.
Yogurt. Muller Corners.
A huge apology.
Revenge of the Yogurt.
Top 5. We're always talking about, well, it's not yogurt, is it? And it's not like, I don't know if I care as much for a yogurt. Well, we care now, don't we, Dan? He's eating now, so I'm going to have to speak all the way through. It's not a yogurt. We saw these earlier in the year. I think, actually, I might have seen one of these in real life. A proper, just a genuine 6 sheet. And all it was an extreme close-up of the Muller pack. And on the top left is the fruit, and on the bottom right is the yogurt and the logo Muller, and that's it. And I just went, oh my God, because it's a square format. A poster is a square format. You're going, you don't need anything more, like a stupid line or some website or some hashtag, all that shit. Just show me, and it looks delicious. So I was immediately pulled in, and then I did a bit of a feed looking what's out there, and I think I can't remember who sent it, but then we saw the one where the whole of the corner is bent down, like
the special build.
Oh my God. So we immediately got in touch with
they were really kind actually, weren't they, and the note they sent back with all of that information.
Colin
and Emma,
Colin McKean and Emma Houston at VCP, thank you. You were so generous of all the info. We didn't put it all up because there wasn't enough space, but this work is, I don't know. It's so good.
The spot varnish.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about that for a minute,
Talk about spot varnish.
I know I've mentioned it before, but it's the thing that I think really elevates the print work, because they've just spot varnished the corner where the fruity compote is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
And it just gives it that nice gloss.
Yeah. It just makes it more sort of tasty, doesn't it? And you think, oh God, I can't speak highly enough. I think, again, this should have been probably, it could have been, it's in top 5, could have been top 1 or 2, but it's been pushed out by some incredible work. But this is...
So I'm going to ask you a question though on this.
Go on.
What would you remove?
What would you move? Well, maybe the logo.
The logo would be gone. And I'm sure they would have had that argument. And there's a client call.
Do you think it is, they're the original corner?
Fruit Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But then you get all of the...
Is it Fruit Corner TM?
Oh.
John's about to Google it.
I mean, it's just brilliant. Anyway.
Yeah, I think, certainly for...
Okay, quick question. Are you a chocolate balls man? I think, or are you a strawberry sauce man? You know the corner.
Do you know what? My kids like them. I don't. I'm not a big yogurt fan. I don't eat much dairy.
Dude, I love dairy. That's probably why I ate cheese. So much freaking cholesterol.
Fruit Corner strawberry from Muller.
Yeah, that was a homage to yoghurt from Dan and Hugh from Behind the Billboard, and never again will we denigrate the word or the product yoghurt. Okay, Dan, tell us about number 4.
I can't. I've got a mouthful of food.
Okay, Hugh,
and also,
tell us about number 4.
You should probably tell us about number 4 because you've been working with the guys.
Okay, Specsavers, the agency should have gone to Specsavers billboards. So here we are. We have wanged on about this in real world, drunkenly calling John and Bertie at awards, online and stuff. But we can do it one more time because everyone loves to hear about good work. So these, I don't know if I'm sort of speaking out of turn here. I reckon these could be some of the best should have billboards ever. Because what they've done is, everyone knows the line should have gone to Specsavers. It's part of the... And
this is a part of the anniversary of the line as well, right?
Yeah.
Campaign's 20 years old.
20 years, and they have probably done the best one. And it's sort of the oldest trick in the book. You know, the bloke's put it up wrong. I think they're currently running ads in the print media where the ad is upside down and go, okay, someone's made a mistake. But what they've done here is they've just taken it to such extremes. It's become a sort of exercise in craft, because you could just go, oh yeah, there was a poster a few years back where it goes, should have a spec gone 2 or something. You go, oh yeah, the 48 sheet, they mixed them up. But in this instance, I won't have to explain it too much because I think everyone knows them, but they've just put them up so wrong. But they've been so well crafted in their wrongness that the joke gets funnier and funnier. So much so that I think the third one, the actual ladder has been covered over with the pot of glue, so the guy has actually sort of glued himself in. So they're I can't speak highly enough of them. They're brilliant. They are literally what posters are about. Quick, funny. I think they made Specsavers more relevant than virtually anything else, even though they're quite old school posters. You could have run these 20 years ago.
Yep.
They're not digi. I mean, you could do a digi version.
They've done a digi version where it looks like it's been posted on the screen the wrong way around. So they've posted a landscape on a portrait.
All right.
Yeah.
But they're great. And like I said, I do know John and Bertie, the team. I've been working with them at Specsavers, and I'm just going to have to say this. I won't say it anymore. We did have a really nice World Cup campaign. It died. I've got over it. I've not held on to it. I'm not holding on to it.
Is that because there's lots of people not talking about the World Cup?
There's lots of people not talking about the World Cup, which I selfishly was irritated by because I thought they were really good posters. And it didn't mention the World Cup or Qatar, but I've let it go. So it's not even a thing.
You haven't really, because we've talked about it every week.
Therein lies the truth. Okay, which of these ingredients does not belong in a traditional British ploughman's? This is open to the...
this is a trivia question.
You can
again.
confer John and Dan.
You're still not doing the joke. You're doing the trivia.
Oh, it's just a thing out of crack. Cheese, pickle, bread, ham. Which of these ingredients does not belong in a traditional British ploughman's? Cheese, pickle, bread, ham.
Ham.
He told you that.
No, he didn't.
Did you say?
He doesn't speak. He's silent.
Ham is correct.
I do like a bit of ham in my ploughman's though.
Do you? Yeah.
And a pickled onion.
I just like a ham and cheese sandwich. Right, moving on. How are we doing for time?
Can you find the red one?
No, I've done the red one.
The joke.
It's the same one. The trouble is, I bought a job like the left one is, what did the left eye say to the right?
No way. It's the same. You've got the same joke in every single cracker.
I'm going back to paper
John,
to
what's
get my
in yours?
£7 back.
£7?
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with the world?
Yeah.
They're miniature.
That's all right, though. The others,
£7.
I was going to get some for 20.
There's not even a toy in it.
Well, yeah, that's probably good news because we don't want you playing with a toy.
John's just passed me his.
Okay, have you got a red one?
Yeah, red one. Here we go.
Okay, go on.
Why are eggs no good at telling jokes?
Because they always crack up.
They keep cracking up.
Not bad.
Not
See,
bad.
I did actually a stint working for a cracker company. And
bet you
got all
did.
of my dad jokes and I made like a fortune because I got so many shit jokes.
Did you?
Yeah. But then that ran out and I went, worked Specsavers for a bit, so that's fine.
Cracking job, mate.
Let's go to number 3. We're in the top 3 now.
Top 3.
Is there, can we get John to do a little, like a jingle? John, can you drop in something really...
You're talking about him like he's not here. He's actually sat in the room this time. Right.
John, do you reckon we could get something audio mnemonic? Audio mnemonics I fucking hate. But in this case, if it's ironic, it'd be good.
But like, it's the final countdown.
It's the top 3 billboards. Hey! That's all right. Okay. Who wants to take this one away? Smashy or nicey?
So,
You be smashy.
I'll take this one on.
Okay.
Tesco's. Ramadan.
Yeah, Ramadan.
Now, you did a date check, didn't you, on this?
Yeah, and it's legit again.
Yeah,
I think it's,
good.
again, a really rich time. I think like March, April. Well, obviously when Ramadan is.
Of course.
Yeah. So whenever Ramadan was.
So we talked about it quite a lot when we first saw it because it's really smart. So credit to BBH.
Yeah, March,
April.
Yeah.
March of this year.
Yeah, something like that.
And it did really well at Cannes. It did really well at the campaign Big Awards as well. So
yeah, although we
championed it first.
We
did
called it first, mate. We know it.
Yeah, we know.
And I think I dropped a note to, Helen Rhodes. Hello, Helen. How are you, Rhodesy? Get in here, please. You're long overdue a chat, but Helen...
She keeps dodging us, doesn't she?
I know.
She's now screening your calls as well. Every time she sees your name come out, she's like, oh, fucking hell. He wants me to go on that fucking podcast.
We'll have to get Alex and Greavy to help us. But I reckon
we
this
could just
is
take
one
the
of-
mics to her place and just kind of sit
That's an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe get Victor to help us in. I think this is one of the best use. Again, it's a bit like we talked about earlier, the big issue, the Queen in some respects, just brilliant use of digital media. And I think
really, really, really simple.
yeah, and that's why it's number 3, because it's not just using it for using its sake, it's using it. So the headline, for people who don't know this, I'm sure you'll do, but together this Ramadan is the headline. And it's the same headline when it's dark. But what happened is all the plates of food, they're empty in the daytime. And then, hey presto, in the evening, they're full of food. And delicious food it is too. But everything else is the same. And you're going, oh my God. I don't know who, whoever was the actual creative brains behind it who went, well, why don't we do that? It must have been a wonderful moment. Because you go...
It's brilliant. It's just like, and one of the best things about it, you can see it on the Cannes jury just talking about it. It's just the 2 images. It says exactly, the 2 images that we've got and you'll see in the feed here explain the entire idea. You don't need any more than that. You don't need the technical understanding of we were looking at when the sun set and this is when we change. You don't need it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need it. It's
daytime and nighttime, isn't it? There was a brilliant film again about Ramadan, I think a year or two back, about a footballer who could only train at night.
Oh yeah,
or something to do with his diet and playing football at night. And again, it was just one of the really simple ones. Going, oh God, you know what? It's just when you see something this simple, you go, yeah, hats off. And I think it just makes everyone at Tesco's and everyone at BBH just look like they know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
they're culturally in touch, with the modern world. And I think Tesco's brilliant. They're doing a brilliant job on it. I imagine it's tough. Big retail campaigns, but they do good stuff.
Yeah.
They should be really, really proud of that. I think, again, top 3, but the top 2 are it's all brilliant work, but the next 2 are...
right, so I think this is going to be divisive with our audience.
Okay.
In the order that we've put it 1 and 2.
Oh. Yeah, because you were talking about, we could have done the match of the day thing.
Yeah.
Your top. Oh, we can do that now if you want.
No. My top 5 is your top 5, and it's the top 5 that we are reading out now.
But you're thinking 1 and 2 could
I just think it's going to be divisive because it's quite interesting. The people that we've spoken to recently, we've talked about both of these campaigns.
Yeah.
And for some people, one of these campaigns is coming up as their best campaign they've ever seen. Like, this is like a...
Yeah.
So I think if we've got that in the wrong order for them, they're going to be like, well, actually, no, you got that in the wrong order. So do comment on the post if you think that we're in the wrong order.
Well, you need to.
It's a democracy. We will read what you say, and he will absolutely ignore it.
So you've got to reveal now what you're talking about.
Yes, I am going to reveal. So number 2, we have. You get a drum roll, or crisp packet.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Rustling. Oh,
that's not bad.
That's all right. It's like a really shit bongo. Number 2, we have as the last photo for Calm ITV by Adam and Eve DDB. We absolutely love this campaign. It's just brilliant campaign. Shelley, we know, said this is one of her favorite campaigns ever. It's that good.
So you can quickly explain it as well for people who aren't aware. It's called The Last Photo, and it's very sadly the last photo people had taken of themselves before they committed suicide. So the first one is a lovely looking lad here. He's got a little crab or something from the sea, and it says he looks really happy and joyful at what he's caught, and it just says 3 days later Ted took his own life. And the line is, suicide doesn't always look suicidal, which is, oh my God, such an emotional line, such a thought. But the way it's handled, the way they've art directed it, it doesn't feel like an advertising agency's been on it. It just feels like information. It's not quite editorial. And then it just goes on. The next one is probably one of the most heartbreaking. It's a young girl with the balloon's 21, so it's obviously 21st birthday, and it's 11 days later Sophie took her own life. So it's that awful thing. You just don't know what's going on underneath the surface. And I think everyone who sees this, it stops you in your tracks. So what we found out, well, we know what went on, but there was an exhibition of this work on the South Bank, which is, a form of outdoor. So they were posters, as we've just described, but there was also this huge exhibition on the South Bank where the images were put up, and people weren't actually told what it was initially. So it looks like people just prime of their life, having a great time. And then it was revealed suicide doesn't always look suicidal. And then they actually invited some of the families down, didn't they? We heard, and that was quite.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this for the last couple of weeks as well, with Shelley and with Scott.
Yeah.
So if you haven't listened to those episodes, do listen to them as soon as they come out, because it's quite insightful. And I think from one of the things that really hit home for me is we talked about the families who had donated these images and allowed the advertising for Calm to tell their story, and it's very brave advertising. And I think doing that in the out of home space is commendable. It's
also we had Anthony and Mike, Ant Nelson, Mike Sutherland on a couple of series ago.
Wow, yeah, a long time ago.
He talked about Project 84, which you kind of think you're not going to beat that. That as a sort of creative, you think that those mannequins, 84 of them, top of the ITV building. It was just like a massive moment. And yet this, I'm not saying it's better, you can't really compare them, but the emotion from this is even more powerful, because 84 men killing themselves a week is pretty horrendous. And that is, if that's the only thing you remember from that part of the campaign, that's amazing. But this, it's like looking at someone and thinking, oh God, they seem really happy. It's always the line, isn't it? People go, they seem so happy.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's going on. I think that's always, I saw something posted on LinkedIn, a lot of noise around this on LinkedIn, people reposting. A mate of mine, Gary Martin, did it, and others. And I think the thing is, you need to sort of say to people, "Are you okay?" And then, "Are you really okay?"
Yeah,
know what
you have to ask again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
ask and then ask again.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we could probably talk about this one all day because it is so emotive. So it does make me think now. I wonder if that should be number one.
No,
So,
I
it's
think
just a different space. It's a different space.
different space, different reason for advertising as well.
Yeah.
So listen, but I do think we need to credit everyone on this list from Adam and Eve. So
yeah.
Richard Brim, CCO.
Yeah.
Ant and Mike, we talked about ECDs. The team were Andy and Richard. You've got the full credits down here.
I was actually going to list Ben Sharp and Jack Bailey. Jack I used to know, so I wanted to just say hello if Jack is out there, or if he knows anyone. I saw him the other day at Shots, and I should have said hello. Integrated producer Amy Simmons, integrated assistant producers Rick Bailey, Scarlett Rudd, designer. So his designer was Scott Sylvie. Scott on the pod as well, talking about this in depth. Scott's a great old friend of ours. Great guy. Really tough talking about this with him, but really important. Head of planning Will Grundy and senior planner James McCaskill. James, I used to work with at Mullen Lowe. I've been pretty lost touch with James. James, hello mate. Lovely to see your name on this amazing bit of work. Hope it all's well. So now we're going to go to number one.
To what we believe is the best bit of work of the year that we've seen.
Yeah, we're going to go supersonic, aren't we, Dan? How high are we going to fly on this one? It's no surprise, this is it?
I don't think so, because I think it's just is brilliant piece of. Is this the first work for them as well?
I think it is. So this is BA, British Airways Uncommon,
a British original,
and we put this on our Instagram feed, and it's had the most amount of likes.
Yeah,
not that's I don't know. Do you judge it by that? But it's just from our little world, and no one has left anything other than positivity. I think, yeah. So do we need to explain it?
We don't really need to explain it. It's business, leisure, and the other reason, which is always it's kind of contextual. But there are 500 odd variants. I think more now. Actually, I think.
Can I ask a question? Because I'm not sure. They go 500.
Yeah.
But there's not 500 different billboards. There's 500 bits of stuff.
Yeah. So, but it could, if you're on something digital, it could just rotate. You could do different things each time. And in fact, I've seen some of these in context as well. I said the other day, the one I saw in the morning was different to the one I saw in the evening. And it was, the one in the evening was because it's dark at 5 p.m. And, it was
oh, it's great. There's so much. I think the one it sort of for me, it started off. I wonder if you said this one sort of launches it. So business, pleasure, or mischief. Because that kind of tonally goes, oh yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to get on a plane and go and do something spontaneous. But then there's things like business, pleasure, business, leisure, and then because this weather sucks and
stag do, pray for me.
Yeah, so good. Business, leisure, to consummate the divorce. Brilliant, right?
Because the only thing worse than sand in your shoes is no sand in your shoes.
Business, leisure, remission. Again, brilliant. Wow, so humbling. How can you, in 3 words, talk about cancer and holidays and getting away without any pictures of old people, sad people, young people crying? Is you just go, yeah.
And just going back to the because this weather sucks one.
Yes.
That one was affected by the rain as well, right? So the
can I say you had your hands
drippy.
Up there as a Joey Tribbiani from Friends affected, although he always gets it wrong.
So it's been the ink's running on the prayer and the logo and the copy. So
can I say something? I think I don't know how Uncommon do it. It reminds me of how Henry Shaldecott Lurie or Mother or someone somewhere said, and some agencies go, you can't do that. You can't smudge a poster because it'll look like we don't want to do. We can't have a half-broken umbrella at the top, and what they do, everything I look at, I think, fucking hell, they did everything. They covered it all. They've done a special build on the weather where the poster is bleeding ink because it's been so wet, and you just think, who else is going to let you do that? They're masters of their craft. Business, pleasure. I keep saying business pleasure. I mean business leisure, and then to eat a tomato that actually tastes like a tomato. There's also another food one, business, leisure, olives the size of my actual fist. I mean, they're just the quality of writing, the brevity. I love the use of white space. People have been wanging on LinkedIn going, do you think that's a good use of white space? What a waste of money. It's like, no, you idiot. It's purity of thought. I mean, the way I've thought about it is it's like, let that thought land in this wonderful big space. And the space to me is a bit like air. I don't know. I mean, I can sort of post-rationalize the whole fucking thing.
But it's also, it goes back to how you... What?
How long have we got?
Oh, look, there's a big clock up there. It says 10 minutes.
A big what? Yeah.
Only had half a beer.
No, I'm easy.
It's the process you go through when you're booking a flight. BA, the questionnaire. There's like there. It feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like all the options. It's brilliant. It's like the process that it's advertising, and I think that's fine.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we've waxed lyrical about that one, haven't we? But it's a fucker going to the airport, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and you're going, but somehow this is transcending it a bit. I think what I like about it, it feels like it's BA has got its mojo back. There's its point of view.
It's doing the job of a personality-less brand, giving them the personality again.
Yeah, because Virgin are very strong.
They are very, very strong.
They know what they stand for.
Absolutely.
You go attitude.
Challenger brand. This is they're playing now. The British original is brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's one thing. But they're also now giving that a personality, the quintessentially British.
Yeah.
I don't know if you follow any of those on social, but very British problems and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's really funny because we do moan about the weather and we have got a sense of humour.
Yeah, maybe
and
the only way
plays into that, the British original. This is a kind of, I'm sure that was in the pitch, the kind of very British problems.
I wonder, it'd be interesting to see where that line goes next.
Yeah.
Because it feels quite, actually when I saw the work, I actually didn't really see this British original thing. I just saw this business leisure thing, British Airways. And it was a bit like, we know really why you're flying. It's not for business, or it's like, do we eat olives?
Something, yeah.
So, well done, everyone. Well done, everyone who's had anything to do with the billboard this year.
I mean, look, we covered 15, but there are loads out there that we haven't covered.
Yeah.
And
we had about 10 in the appendix, which we might put up online. But we did want to whittle it down, or stuff that was out of date, or But thanks everybody for listening. Keep listening.
And let's
leave us.
Try and get stuff into 23.
Yeah.
Do more, create more.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, hopefully it'll be another great year. I think every year we do it, it feels like, when we started, it was great. And then the pandemic kicked in. I was like, oh, fucking hell, we could have nothing on this podcast. But it's great. So I just want to say thank you, John. Thank you, Dan. Most of all, thank you to Talon for all your support this year. What an amazing year we've had. I mean, going to Cannes, I'd never thought I'd ever get down there without either winning or going down and getting drunk with my mates. But I went down as a content person, trying to actually do something. So, and I really hope we can do it again next year, or South by Southwest or something. Just let's keep going and doing interesting stuff. But thank you once again, Talon, and everyone involved. It's been a total pleasure.
Yeah, we must say thanks to our sponsors. John was about to give a round of applause for your closing speech there.
Thanks, John. Also, Mum, Dad, Poppy the dog, Rachel and the girls, Mick and Gaz.
Talon for sponsoring us. We wouldn't be here if they weren't paying the bills. Although we'd probably just be on our.
Well, I could go into that fund that I've put aside.
The podcast fund. Thank you for Talon for believing us and for championing creativity in the out of home space. Big rebrand launch this month for Talon. So if you've seen that on socials, it's because they have launched the new brand, and as a kind of a global player in out of home, they've really trying to champion both creativity, data, and ad tech and stuff. So go and have a look at that and read up more.
One last thing, if any listeners are friends of or know Helen Rhodes and Vicky Maguire, we desperately want
Pressure.
them on. Yeah, pressure.
On them.
We do know them, but obviously they're just blanking us at the moment. But we'd love to have them on. Very important people to have on this show.
They are. And equally, feel free to nominate people. Nominations are always useful as well.
No, we've got 2 episodes lined up for the new year, but we've got some really exciting guests who are coming in. So we just want to keep rolling.
Keep rolling.
Keep rolling. Saying that. On that note, Happy Christmas.
We will play a Christmas carol to finish.
Should we sing Once in a While, David City? No.
Oh,
little.
What do you think? What do you think is the greatest Christmas song of all time?
Okay, I think is it not Jonah Louie?
My kids go with this one.
Silent Night. Home Alone. Yeah, Spooky Neighbour. Poor bugger. People just didn't understand him. Like when he's shaving the path.
Yeah, it's all.
And Bud's saying something like, and then he's got that dustbin and that's where he put the acid. And I want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, then greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Can I have 3?
No. It does it go in an order?
It has to be 3. I can't not do it. When
okay.
Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
It's not a Christmas movie, but the best bits are at Christmas. Die Hard.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people are going to hate this or love it. It's not Marmite. It's Love Actually.
Fuck that.
See, I knew you'd be one of those.
No, Elf is got to be up there.
Yeah,
Bad Santa, not for kids.
Not watched that.
You haven't seen Bad Santa with
So that's what I'm going to be doing next week.
Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah, I've heard.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's really
Okay,
good.
go on. Any more?
And Die Hard. I mean, Die Hard.
But are you?
But for the kids, is Home Alone is that they're their top.
No, Home Alone is so good.
Yeah, very good. And Home Alone 2 is not bad.
Yeah, Die Hard 2 was terrible. 3, what was the one with Samuel L. Jackson? That was good. Jeremy Irons.
3,
and then 4 was awful.
Yeah.
God, should we do a podcast about favourite films? Christmas films, or have we just done it?
That's it. I finished.
Okay, while we're at it, last thing. Top Gear Vietnam Special. I watched it one Christmas. That was my favourite thing ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When they have to get to that.
What, with Clarkson, May and...
the pop ones, not those little idiots.
I like Freddie Flintoff.
Right. Anyway, look, this is... People are
right, enjoy your Christmas TV, everyone. Enjoy your families and your spending time with loved ones.
We'll see you next time.
See you on the flip side.
Lots of love. Bye.